And we are live once again. Good evening, folks. Welcome to Friday Night Tech Talk. I'm Mobile Geezer, which you're well aware of if you're watching on my YouTube channel. But you also might be watching on either one of my Facebook IDs, which would be Mobile Geezer or George Hayes. I simulcast for all three at the same time. If you're new here, we get together at this time every week. We go over some articles that I find out on the web that relate to tech and that I find interesting. And look at this, we got Eleanor and Annette right behind each other. Glad you guys are here. I mean, you guys came in like within seconds of each other, and I'm very appreciative. Can I talk? Anyway, glad you're both here. Two of the most faithful of all. So I pick some articles every week that I think would be interesting to tech heads like me or people who are interested in tech. And we discuss them in the comments to some degree. And if you're new here, please type something in the comments. Let us know where you're from. Alex, you're new to me, I do believe. Where are you from? Glad you're here, of course. Just getting started. You're right on time. And every week I pick about 6 or 7 articles this week. I think it was 6 articles that I think are interesting to talk about, and that I try to pick articles that you guys wouldn't have seen everywhere, and that you would find interesting. So I'll show you them. Well, and I forgot, I just started last week. If you read the QR code up here in the corner, it'll take you directly to my website where you'll see the show notes for tonight's show. Since I mentioned that, I will show you the show notes as I do every week. So if you go to mobilegeezer.wordpress.com, am I showing it in? Yeah, okay. And click on today's date, you will get just the show notes for tonight's show. And as I do every week, I will give you guys a little preview of what we're going to talk about. Now, I did check to see if I had any messages, especially from Ted, whether or not he was going to join the show. So I had no message, so that sometimes that means Ted will drop in. Of course, he's in Dallas, an hour behind me. So he's probably still got daylight. He has a photography business on the side, so he might be out working. Who knows? But if he or Will or Mike come in, I will certainly let you guys know. Other than that, you get just me, which usually means a shorter show. So I'm going to give you the preview that I always give you guys while we're here. So the first one I found on Tech Radar, I just said, will 6G enhance our lives much more or just be that much more invasive? Now, we're a few years out from 6G, but Qualcomm had its annual revealing event in Hawaii, as they do every week. And for all of us regular people, it doesn't affect us much until the phones start getting the latest update from Intel on the phones, which will probably start coming out pretty soon now. But we'll go over this article simply because I gather they talked about 6G, and the writer for Tech Radar had some interesting things to say about it. So that'll be what we'll start with. And then it seems this has really gotten around. Now, if you're old like me, I know who Max Headroom is. Maybe some of you don't. Back in the late 70s, early 80s, we had a television show about a character named Max Headroom who wasn't real. He was a computer-generated character, but he had his own TV show. And I was crazy about that show. But now I said not Matt Headroom, but Tilly Norwood is pointing that way. This is Tilly Norwood, and she also is not real. She's a generated AI, but there are Hollywood agents looking to sign her, I guess, through her creator. So some of the actors and actresses are very upset with this. So I just thought that was a really interesting article. And matter of fact, I have from Variety, but just before I started, I saw a new article from Tech Radar that Tilly is not real. She's just a thing, which is true. But so people are kind of upset about it, especially in Hollywood, as they should be. So that'll be the second story. And then, which was kind of the big event of the week, Amazon's 2025 hardware event. I found it on Tech Radar, and they were doing a lot of it live, but we'll just go over what they revealed for those who would be interested in the Amazon stuff. And that'll be very quick. After that, this I find real interesting. Now, those of you who know Will and Mike and I started this, 6 years ago, 7 years ago? I can't remember. But Mike doesn't come on very much because he started doing DoorDash about 3.5 years ago. And he's gotten very busy with it. He makes a good amount of money, but now he does it for Amazon. He does it for a bunch of different ones. But I just thought this was interesting. DoorDash delivery robots. I said, not there yet, but testing in the real world. And they are testing in Phoenix. That's interesting. And after that, Google revealed their new smart home cameras and speakers this week. I just thought we should go over that. They seem to be pretty good. Well, of course, they're full of AI. That's what it's all about, which means we're going to have more invasiveness in our lives through them too. So keep that in mind. But this is just an interesting article. I found it on Android Central, and I said even Walmart got in on it because they have a deal with Walmart too, although theirs are much cheaper. So we'll go over that. And lastly, last week I showed you, I should show you the phones I took to work with me this week, which sometimes I forget. So today I took as my main line my OnePlus Open, and of course my eSIM is in my iPhone 17, so I took that to work with me too. And last week I showed you what liquid glass looks like on the iPhone 17, and I showed you how you can change some things and adjust some things. But found this article on Mashable, iOS 26. You can't turn liquid glass off, but you can tone it down a little bit. So some people really hate it and some people like it, which we'll see in the article. So that'll be the last article. So that's our preview, and no Ted or anybody else has come in as yet. So we will start with our first article. So will 6G enhance our lives much more or just be that much more invasive? So that was on Tech Radar. Let's go take a look. And this was from 2 days ago. I told you he was at the Qualcomm event, and Qualcomm talked about 6G. Qualcomm hinted at a 6G future, and for the first time, I'm not excited for what's next. It was written by Philip Byrne. The next G will take more than it gives us. So that's his view of it. So let's drop it into reader view and get rid of these ads. At the Qualcomm Snapdragon Summit, among all the processor news about the fast new Snapdragon Elite platforms for smartphones and laptops, I also heard a concrete milestone for 6G networks. Qualcomm says it will be ready for 6G devices by the end of 2028. Yes, it's a ways off. That will be the start of the 6G race, not the finish line. But from the hints Qualcomm is dropping about our 6G future, it's not a race I'm excited to run. I've been a phone reviewer through all the big Gs, and I remember the promise each made, what each generation would give us. And now we're going to go through that a little bit. From 2G through 5G, each network gave us something new. The iPhone 3G was the second iPhone and the first with 3G networking. So that was back then. Now that's tiny to us. Back then, that was a big phone. The first 2Gs gave us data on our phones, browsing the web, reading email, that sort of thing. This is where the first iPhone joined the party at the end of 2G, just as 3G networks were spreading. The 3G networks gave us video on our phones, the dawn of YouTube. Not streaming networks like we have today, but video clips or audio with great sound quality. The path was being led for Netflix and Hulu, but it was littered with Mobi TV and Samsung Milk Music first. I don't know either of those. With 4G networks, and this is kind of where I started with phones, started getting interested anyway. We got live video streaming. YouTube, Snapchat, and older services like Vine and Periscope were all born after 4G networks. You could even stream yourself. For the first time, anybody could become a broadcaster using only a smartphone. Frankly, the idea seemed so outlandish that it was ignored for years. Your phone has been able to broadcast a live YouTube channel for far longer than you realize. Cars like the Rivian R1S stay connected thanks to 5G networks. The 5G networks gave us the Internet of Things. Everything is connected, that's the truth. Not just your lights and thermostat, but also your car and, why not, your tea kettle. These 5G networks aren't just faster, they also handle a lot more traffic. I'm still not seeing significantly faster speeds on 5G networks, but the networks are much more reliable and networking is more consistent. Yeah, it's a lot more reliable than it was a few years ago. I think 5G is where things started to sour. My car is always connected to the internet, and I used to hope a connected car would be able to talk to other cars for safety features, and that's what I thought 5G was going to bring us. Showed you what I knew 4 years ago. Or with road signs for better navigation. Instead, I get emails telling me that I left my doors unlocked or an alert that somebody bumped into my mirror with accompanying video clips. And here's Ted. Ted, you should get in here. You're probably out and about walking around in Dallas if I know you. But if you're home, get in here, please. Glad to have you here, though. Okay. Qualcomm says 6G networks will be ready to receive AI data, I'm sure. What is the purpose of 6G? We've been hearing from Qualcomm and other companies that 6G networks will enable AI features, gee, what a surprise, like never before. But it wasn't clear what that meant. I assumed that phones would talk to more powerful AI computers through the cloud, but there's more to 6G than asking questions and getting faster answers. The real promise of 6G networks, for Qualcomm at least, is how much data these networks will gather from us. Qualcomm brought me to the Snapdragon Summit on Maui to talk about chips like the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, which will be the fastest mobile platform you can buy when it launches in phones of this month. In addition to driving applications faster, running AI features on your device, and drawing detailed graphics and games, the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 is also designed to gather sensor data from your phone more efficiently than ever. So they are going to know more about us than they ever did, which is always what they want. How much data? You're going to need a bigger network. Pixel 10 Pro. I have the regular Pixel 10, which most of you know, and of course I have the iPhone 17. Both of those are my two newest phones. Your phone can listen and record video with microphones and cameras. It can detect your motion and the direction you are facing using the accelerometer and magnetometer, respectively. With GPS, it can detect your location and speed. Some phones, like the Pixel 10 Pro, have temperature sensors. The iPhone 17 Pro, and I have the base on both, has an infrared sensor that it uses for face unlocking. The Galaxy S25 Ultra has Hall magnet sensors to detect when your cover case has opened or closed. But wait, there's more. You also have radios on your phone for Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and possibly ultra-wideband for accessories like AirTags. Those radios can detect other networks and devices around you and feed that information to AI. In fact, by measuring changes in the signal strength of your devices, your phone can detect your location or the locations of others in the room with you based on how much interference your bodies cause. Yeah, they're picking up lots and lots of information. All of this data collection will feed a new breed of AI called agentic AI. To create today's large language models like ChatGPT, AI developers like OpenAI need to feed the computer every written word available here. That's why OpenAI gets in so much trouble for stealing people's data. They scanned every book they could find and scraped every website and bulletin board that was accessible. Even this wasn't enough to create a perfect language system, and the AI is constantly being trained and updated on new data. That's because they hallucinate so much. The next generation of AI models will be agentic AI, which means they will be agents capable of taking actions on your behalf. How do you train such a model? By studying the actions, in other words, getting more information from us, we are already taking. Unfortunately, there isn't a vast trove of training data available like the whole of written language. Data needs to be gathered and in massive quantities to train agentic AI models quickly. Qualcomm chipsets gather this data, but eventually it will overwhelm current 5G networks once the flow truly starts. The hints we got about 6G networking came as Qualcomm was discussing this data collection to create next generation agentic AI. Its 6G networks will be robust enough to handle that much data. This is why they're building these huge sites for the AI. With Qualcomm predicting the earliest 6G devices in 2 years, it will be 3 or 4 years before you want to buy a 6G smartphone, and probably 5 or more years before a phone like the iPhone uses 6G networks. We need to know what 6G networks will offer. So what does 6G give us? Every previous network generation has given us something: data, video, streaming, ubiquitous connectivity, 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G, respectively. So far, I haven't heard what 6G will give, only what it will take. It will take our data. It will gather our information. It will monitor our lives. Without understanding the benefits, this just creeps me out. Qualcomm says that AI is the new UI, and I agree that AI will bring the biggest usability changes since the dawn of the graphical user interface. To get there, Qualcomm and AI developers need a lot of training data, and 6G networks will be an integral part of gathering that data. This path has been inevitable since the dawn of AI. It's not a surprise, that's true. This is the problem with AI, and why AI feels like a feature being forced upon all of us. Of course it is. You try to avoid it, you won't be able to. I'm not seeing obvious benefits. It isn't clear how AI is making my life better. It's very clear how AI is being used to sell me things like new smartphones and new network Gs. And if Qualcomm wants me to be excited about what's next, I need to hear what the next generation will give us instead of what it will take. So that's his view of it. So I just thought that was a very interesting article since he was there with Qualcomm talking about this stuff. So, all right, nothing else new. Now, Ted had said good evening. I'm hoping that means maybe he saw us on his phone and is on his way home. Sometimes he goes home and then gets on. So maybe that'll happen. I'll certainly let you know. So that was the first story. This, I think, is the most interesting story because I said I was a huge Max Headroom fan. I said not Max Headroom, but Tilly Norwood. That's this thing's name, if you want to call it a thing rather than a person. Tilly Norwood is pointing that way. This was from an article on Variety. Let's go check it out. AI actress Tilly Norwood condemned by SAG-AFTRA. Oh, and I did make a note in case people didn't know who SAG-AFTRA was. SAG-AFTRA, a 2012 merger of the Screen Actors Guild, that's the SAG, and the American Federation of Television and Radio Artists. And they've been around since I was a kid, I know that. So just in case you didn't know who SAG-AFTRA was, that's who they are. And AI actress Tilly Norwood condemned by SAG-AFTRA. Tilly is not an actor. It has no life experience to draw from, no emotion. This is written by Zach Sharf. And this was from September 30th, so 4 days ago. Let's drop into review and get rid of these ads. SAG-AFTRA has issued a statement condemning Tilly Norwood. So they're issuing a statement condemning a person who's not really a person, which they well know. The AI actress who has become a contentious subject in Hollywood after her creator, Elaine van der Velden, recently claimed that multiple talent agents were interested in signing the AI creation. So I guess they'd have to sign her to her creator. The Acting Guild believes creativity is and should remain human-centered and is opposed to the replacement of human performance by synthetics. And you can understand that. That means they're losing jobs. To be clear, Tilly Norwood is not an actor. It's a character generated by a computer program that was trained on the work of countless professional performers without permission or compensation. So we can expect some lawsuits coming here. SAG-AFTRA wrote in a statement, it has no life experience to draw from, no emotion, and from what we've seen, audiences aren't interested in watching computer-generated content untethered from the human experience. Of course, they have an interest in making us believe that, so it makes you wonder, might people be interested? Who knows? It doesn't solve any problem. It creates the problem of using stolen performances to put actors out of work, jeopardizing performer livelihoods and devaluing human artistry, which is probably true. Oh, and you should know, part of the reason I loved the show Max Headroom is because I knew it was just a TV show. This is real. So, big difference. The Guild added, signatory producers should be aware that they may not use synthetic performers without complying with our contractual obligations. That's true. They have agreements with the unions, and they may not even be able to use this person that isn't a person, which require notice and bargaining whenever a synthetic performer is going to be used. Amid growing industry backlash against Tilly Norwood, who was created by the AI production studio Particle 6, creator Elaine van der Velden issued a defense by saying Tilly is not a replacement for a human being, but a creative work, a piece of art, which is true. I'm going to sip of my lemonade. Got my Taco Bell lemonade. I see AI not as this is the creator. I see AI not as a replacement for people, but as a new tool, a new paintbrush. Yeah, but you're taking money out of their pockets, or theoretically. Then the Belden added, just as animation, puppetry, or CGI open fresh possibilities without taking away from live acting, AI offers another way to imagine and build stories. I'm an actor myself, and nothing, certainly not an AI character, can take away the craft or joy of human performance. Hollywood stars such as Melissa Barea, Kiersey Clemons, Mara Wilson, and more were quick to condemn the AI creation on social media. Whoopi Goldberg opened an episode of The View by doubting an AI actor like Tilly could ever replace a human performer, adding, "You can always tell them from us. We move differently, our faces move differently, our bodies move differently." And Whoopi is a terrific actress, so she probably knows what she's talking about. Doing a podcast interview with Variety, Emily Blunt was shown a picture of Tilly Norwood and reacted with shock and fear. Does it disappoint me? I don't know how to quite answer it other than to say how terrifying this is, Blunt said. No, are you serious? That's an AI? Good Lord, we're screwed. That is really, really scary. Come on, agencies, don't do that. Please stop. Please stop taking away our human connection. So that's it. They're very much up in arms about it, but I think the union people may be right. I mean, she does manage to put on some expressions, but I think they may be right. I think based on the union contracts, they probably couldn't use her without making some new agreements. I keep saying her, it's really an it. So I just thought that was a really interesting story. And yes, we are living in the future, folks. Very interesting stuff. Okay, no TED as yet. And nothing new in the comments, so we will continue on. This is going to be quick, because even though I pulled this article about Amazon's 2025 hardware event, which was this week, I'm only going to tell you what was announced and show you a couple of pictures, but that's going to be about it. Because they were doing this during the live event also, and we don't need to hear about all of that. I just wanted to tell you about the new products. Amazon's big hardware event as it happened. 4 new Echo devices, Kindle Scribe, Colorsoft, Alexa Plus, new Ring doorbells, and more. All the announcements as they happen. So we're not going to go through the timeline, but we'll take a look at the products. This was by Kat Ellis, and this was also from September 30th. So let's drop into review. Amazon's 2025 hardware event took place today, September 30th, and we were on the show floor to report every new announcement as it happened. The event was a whirlwind tour of new devices and services, all including the new AI-powered Alexa Plus. So this whole thing, of course, like everybody else, was all about AI. Read on for today's launches. Stay tuned. Blah, blah. So what launched today? Ring. Amazon launched a full range of 2K and 4K cameras and doorbells and introduced a feature called Retinal Vision that tunes video recording by sampling video over the course of 2 weeks and adjusting the image processing accordingly. So basically the AI is learning in that 2 weeks, I'm sure. There are also new Alexa Plus greetings, which will ask visitors why they're here and respond accordingly. Finally, there's a search party, which can crowdsource data from Ring cameras to find a lost dog. So I guess if your dog got lost, they can look at all the Ring doorbells in the neighborhood and find your dog, which is kind of cool, I guess. with support for other animals coming later. So that's the first thing that was announced. Blink. There are 2 new Blink cameras, including the Blink Outdoor 2K Plus with year-long battery life. That's pretty cool. 2-way audio with noise cancellation and person and vehicle detection with a Blink subscription. You have to have a subscription for that. There's also the Blink Mini 2K Plus for indoors. Just plug it in and away you go. For a wider field of view, the Blink Arc has 2 cameras and uses AI to stitch the footage together into a single image. Fire TV. Get this. Amazon has launched a new series of Fire TVs, the 2 Series, 4 Series, and Omni QLED. New OmniSense tech, get this, will turn the TV on when you enter the room. And my first thought was, do I want the TV coming on every time I enter the room? Turn it off when you leave and automatically, get this, adjust its colors to suit your room's lighting. That is heavy duty. Like I said, we are living in the future. There's also a new Fire TV stick, the 4K Select, with the Vega OS operating system. Alexa Plus integration helps you find what you want to watch and offers useful information when asked. If you want to know more about an actor, for example, or catch up on what's happened so far. So I guess that's useful. Next product, Kindle. The new Kindle Scribe Colorsoft has a new rendering engine for enhanced color and less latency when writing. It's thinner and lighter and has new productivity tools, including a digital notebook, AI-powered search, and compatibility with Google Drive and Microsoft OneDrive. So they have deals between the companies, obviously. I think there's a picture of that Kindle, the Kindle Scribe Colorsoft. Yep. And that's what that looks like. And you can see the color. So I gather that's the very first Kindle with color. As far as I know, I haven't dealt with Kindles in years. So back. And the last thing, Echo. Amazon launched the Echo Dot Max, a new Echo Studio and new Echo Show 8 and 11 devices. All have updated silicon and come with Alexa Plus support out of the box. You can connect up to 5 Echo Dot Max and Echo Studio devices to create a surround sound setup with Alexa Home Theater balancing the audio. Now keep in mind, the whole Alexa Plus thing, that's the whole AI thing, which is what this is all about. And I think we might have a picture of the Echo Dot Max here too. Yeah, that's what that looks like, but that's the only thing so far. And down further, I believe we've got the speaker. And they have new Echo Buds, which they didn't mention. Color Oasis, okay. I'm just trying to find that picture and then we're out of here. So I thought there was a picture of the speaker, but maybe not. Let's have a quick another look. I guess I was wrong. Anyway, just wanted to tell you guys about the new products. I'm sure you can go on Amazon's site and check out these new products. But I just thought since they had the event this week, I should at least tell you guys about them. So, nothing else new in the comments so far. Anything you guys want to discuss, just type it in the comments. All right. This is another one I found real interesting. I was wondering if I could get a reaction from Mike about this because he makes some of his money from DoorDash. DoorDash delivery robots. Not there yet, but testing in the real world. And I found this on Wired. Let's go take a look. DoorDash's new delivery robot rolls out into the big, cruel world. The hype around delivery robots has fizzled, but DoorDash is still determined to launch Dot, that's this thing's name, an adorable red bot It can ride on roads and in bike lanes where it will face daunting challenges. And this article is more or less about the challenges it will face. I just found it interesting. So into reader view we go. And this is again from September 30th. Busy day. This was written by Arian Marshall and Boone Ashworth. When we first got close to Dot, DoorDash's new delivery robot, we looked right into its big blue pixelated eyes and gave it a kick. A little one, a tap, really. It's not Wired's policy to be mean to 350-pound hunks of plastic on wheels. But it's a big, cruel world out there, and delivery robots like that Dot will have to face and are already facing because Dot has just started doing deliveries in Metro Phoenix. Myriad dangers and challenges, that's what it'll have to face. I'm sure there'll be people who just want to kick the thing over, but it's kind of heavy, so I don't think they would be able to. So many challenges, in fact, that although companies are making big strides in autonomous vehicles, 2 more companies launched public rides in the U.S. just this month. Delivery robots like Dot have followed a rockier road. And that's what they look like. They just look like cute, something you would have seen in a science fiction movie from the 70s, really. But they're really out there. DoorDash showed off the nearly 5-foot-tall robot studded with cameras, and we'll see a diagram showing that, and sensors at an event in San Francisco on Monday. The company says the vehicles are built to travel up to 20 miles per hour on roads, bike lanes, and sidewalks, and can carry up to 30 pounds of cargo, a bunch of pizza, a mountain of pad thai, or a small grocery order. The vehicle is electric, has a swappable battery, and can travel up to 6 hours per charge. DoorDash co-founder and DoorDash Labs head Stanley Tang emphasized that the company plans to pursue a hybrid model, so I gather this is not the final model, for deliveries going forward, working with human dashers. I wonder what they'll think of that, but also drones and autonomous vehicles. The company also introduced on Monday a new autonomous delivery platform that can dispatch orders between all 3. So this platform, I gather, will give some orders to real people, some orders to Dot, and also some orders to drones. We definitely want to get this to as many places as we can, Hang said about Dot. We're trying our hardest. So check out this diagram. So up top, you've got your GPS. That's how it knows where it's going. You've got LiDAR cameras. You've got microphones, so I guess people can talk to it. You've got cellular. Here's one camera, another camera, speaker under here, and more radar here and here. So you've got it in those 2 places, but you've got LiDAR here and here, and another camera here. So 9 cameras, 4 radars, 3 LiDARs. So it should be able to see everything pretty good, I would think. I'm glad they put that in there so we could really see, get an idea that this thing should be able to see in every direction. Although my impression is maybe it can only see going forward. I guess it would have to turn around to see what's behind it. I would have thought they would have put cameras in back, but what do I know? I'm just a retired programmer. The Dot is packed with sensors to help it find its way in the world. App-based companies have publicly spoken for years about the money-saving potential of autonomous vehicles. Yeah, they don't have to use humans in some cases. These firms have poured billions of dollars into recruiting and managing the independent contractors like Mike, who do the delivering and driving for them, and millions more ensuring they'll stay independent contractors and not employees. And I was an independent contractor as a programmer developer for about 17 years between Jersey and Orlando, so I have a lot of experience as a contractor with programming. What if the firms could skip all that? What if robots did all the work, or at least some of it? Yeah, they would. That's their dream, but that's not going to happen. Not all the work. Still, with today's announcement, DoorDash is throwing its lot into an industry that has faced some choppy waters, and of course, the threat of public kicks. Speed bumps. Delivery robots were hyped during the onset of the COVID pandemic, that's for sure, as a solution to that other very human problem of contagion. Since then, however, Amazon and FedEx abandoned their delivery robot projects. Others working on delivery bots have pivoted to software or industrial uses. The companies that remain have mostly focused on smaller deployments on college campuses. Yeah, that makes sense. Or a select few cities. And those don't seem to be growing as quickly as hoped. Estonian company Starship Technologies, the biggest one still standing in the delivery robot space, has found a niche operating on mostly university campuses where streets and sidewalks are wide, well maintained, and relatively friendly, and where those desperately seeking 2 a.m. pizzas and burritos are at their least price sensitive. Postmates spinoff Serve Robotics launched in 2017, but has built only 400 robots according to its most recent financial flings, with goals to build 2,000 by the end of the year. I don't see that happening, but possible, I guess. Contrast that with the growth in autonomous vehicles. Though robotaxi services are still limited to a handful of global cities, they're picking up and dropping off customers to the tune of hundreds of thousands of rides per week. Yeah, in San Francisco and in Austin and a few places. The reason for the slower growth in delivery robots is actually pretty simple, said Bernd Grusch, the executive director of the nonprofit Urban Robotics Foundation. They're trying to solve a much harder problem with far, far, far less capital and far, far, far less compute. Consider the technical challenge Dot has ahead of it. DoorDash says the robot is built to operate on sidewalks, bike lanes, and roads. It's meant to pilot in and out of parking lots, to pick up food, and to navigate driveways and apartment complexes to drop it off. Yeah, I would think that it would be kind of hairy in parking lots, especially because it's going to get hit by cars, I would think. That means the software needs to understand, predict the movement of, and get around a remarkable number of situations, vehicles, and living things: cars, trucks, school buses, strollers, children's bicycles, aggressive mopeds, pardon me, motorized wheelchairs, dogs, squirrels, toddlers. Yes, I can see squirrels would be a problem. People with limps, runners, competitive cyclists, and on and on. They have to be programmed to deal with a lot. Each truck can carry 30 pounds of cargo, drive up to 20 miles an hour, and go for about 6 hours on a charge. Delivery robots face all the challenges of the real world, says Nicholas Metallaro, an assistant professor at the Human Computer Interaction Institute at Carnegie Mellon University. In 2021, he and colleague Sarah Fox followed around a small test fleet of delivery robots in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. They had trouble navigating sidewalks. They got stuck. They had interactions with people that were not always ideal, I'm sure, he says. Just this month, he noted a video of a motorized wheelchair user trying and failing to get around the sidewalk delivery robot in Los Angeles. I guess they were getting in each other's way. Went viral, echoing a similar incident that happened when the bots were testing in Pittsburgh. There's still sort of unsolved problems, Metallaro says. Beep, beep. Or should I say it like the Roderick? Meep, meep. Still, DoorDash executives say the company has built something that's robust enough to last on the streets and cute enough to look like a good neighbor. In their research, Metallaro and Fox did observe, get this, I think this is nice, A good Samaritan helping a stuck robot out of a planter. That's nice. It's possible to build something that everyone doesn't want to kick. But googly eyes on the front act as headlights and expressive lenses. Push a button and the hull peels back like a big gaping mouth to reveal the delivery sitting inside. And we've got a picture of that. Yeah, that's somebody putting something in, I guess, from a restaurant. There are cup holders for drinks and temperature-controlled sections for different types of food. That's good. On the outside, DoorDash's designers even gave Dot a little speck of a nose for maximum anthropomorphization. Wow. Let's see if we can see that nose. I guess maybe that is what they mean. Pardon me. I'm not seeing. Yeah, I guess that little dot is what they give you the hint of a nose, I guess. So, Dot is big for a delivery vehicle. Standing next to it, it feels like a slightly smaller smart car. Yeah, so you're not going to be able to just knock it over, I guess. Tang says the size and heft should discourage people from messing with it. Probably true. It's harder to pick up than a sidewalk robot, he says. DoorDash isn't sharing many details about how Dot's early access deliveries in Arizona are going, so they're not telling much of anything about this company. Executive wouldn't say how many Dots exist, how many orders they've completed, how many restaurants are working with Dot, or where Dot will go next. So they're very hush-hush about this. We're rapidly adding robots to meet the demand we're seeing while Dot is in early access. Spokesperson Maddie Magdovich says in an email. They wouldn't say how much money they're investing in Dot or how big the team working on Dot is, though Tang noted that the company has a world-class autonomy program with world-class talent. Dot's success may be determined not by how its performance compares with other robots, but how it compares to humans. Yeah, that's their main competition. Arita Codley, a retail analyst with market research firm Forrester, says that customers like app-based delivery because of the convenience and because it means someone drops off their goods exactly where they want them. But Dot and other delivery bots don't climb stairs or open doors or gently place a carton of eggs on the porch. Why are we trying to get sidewalk robots that nobody asked for? Kodali says. Dot is heading out onto the sidewalks and into the bike lanes of the world regardless, where it will face all manner of hurdles and harassment. At the end of the DoorDash event, we asked if we could kick Dot again for real this time to test how robust it was. A bigger one anyway, the sort of kick the bot might receive in an interaction with an annoyed cyclist, a frustrated wheelchair user, or a distracted driver. The DoorDash PR rep said we had to wrap. Ashu Reg, DoorDash's lab's head of autonomy, fixed us with a plaintive look, I can imagine. Anyway, very interesting. And it's got a lot to deal with in the real world. I'm going to guess that it's probably not going to be successful because there's too many challenges. Oh, and Ted is here. He just told me. Usually I hear something when you're here. Why am I not seeing you?
Camera's off.
Well, you need to turn the camera on. They'd rather look at the young, good-looking guy than the old, ugly guy.
Not on the camera this time. I'm on the icky phone.
The icky phone. What is the icky phone?
It's this damaged iPad 11.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, at least you're here. I'm glad. Have you been listening?
Yep, I was listening since
you typed in "Good evening."
Yeah,
Okay,
AI
good.
story. Yeah,
Good.
I'm not. I mean, I was backstage since the AI story
Okay.
the whole time.
Okay, I didn't realize you were there so long. I'm sorry. Usually, when something comes in, there's a sound. I didn't hear any sound, which is very unusual. Interesting. You see how I have the QR code up in the left hand corner where they can actually scan that and it'll take them right to the website to the show notes.
Mm-hmm.
That's something StreamYard added last week, which I think is very cool.
That is, yeah.
So I am down to my next alert. You got the notes?
Yeah.
Okay. So I am down to the Google. So I said Google for Home. And I gather they didn't have an event. They just, I guess, let everybody know this new stuff was there. So I said smart AI Nest cameras and Google Home speaker. And I got this on the Android Central. And I said even Walmart got in on it. And you'll see that at the bottom of the article. So I'm going to click on the article. Ted, you going to take this one?
I'll take it. Yeah.
All right. Whenever you're ready.
Wally world. Google's Gemini for Home unveils upgraded Nest cameras and AI speaker for smarter living by Nicholas Diaz.
Yeah, he's a good writer.
Okay, what in it? Let's see. October typically the spooky month, but Google's dropping a whole new line of smart home products with cameras that gives you peace of mind, not fright. We caught wind of an all-new smart speaker during Google's event in August for the Pixel 10 series, and the company started teasing something new early in September. Here in October, Google's kicking off the spooky month by introducing Gemini for Home, a new range of smart home devices with its AI model woven into the core of every single product. These new cameras, what was that, 3 new cameras? A Nest Cam indoor, Nest Cam outdoor, and a Nest doorbell. Offer experience you'll find familiar but greatly enhanced by upgraded hardware and Gemini. Internally, Gemini at the heart, and Google says you'll find new capabilities thanks to its multimodal software like detailed alerts from home. The press release states users will get in the full picture behind every alert and see important moments up close with a zoomed-in video preview. In the app, users will find that they're scrolling less through their home video history. They're scrolling less through their video history. Leveraging Ask Home, users can ask the AI a specific question like, what happened to the vase in the living room? Google states the AI will produce a description of what happened as well as video for proof. See a lot of kids getting in trouble for that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Additionally, within the app's home brief, users will receive a summary of every event that may have happened while they were away without hopping from video to video.
Cool.
On a hardware level, Google states that all 3 cameras will have an upgraded 2K HDR video capabilities, showing that is a wider, taller aspect ratio for videos. The post states that the Nest cams grab 152-degree diagonal viewing, while Doorbell sees an upgraded 1:1 aspect ratio and 166-degree diagonal viewing, giving homeowners a much fuller picture of anything going on around the home.
It is a nice wide view. I'll give him that.
Lastly, Google states it's improved the low-light performance so users will find rich colors and details in darker scenarios. User privacy is a big deal, especially for cameras that are so personal. Google states that the newest cameras have their videos encrypted and that their 2-step verification using your Google account. Moreover, users will notice a green light on their cameras, informing them when it's processing or shooting video. Without worrying about a subscription, Google states the newest Nest cameras provide a zoom and crop out feature so you can focus on what matters in any given event. The built-in intelligent alerts for identifying people, vehicles, animals are more included without extra cost and more.
Yeah, so no subscription there, which is nice.
Okay. What's more, homeowners receive a video history, including meaning you can go back and see what's happening from 6 hours ago instead of 3. The new Nest cams and doorbell are launching today on October 1st in the Google Store and major retailers in Snow, Hazel, and Berry. The Nest Cam Indoor starts at $100, available in Snow and Hazel, and the Nest Cam Outdoor starts at $150. Finally, debuting in Snow, Hazel, and Linen. The new Nest doorbell starts at $180.
Yeah, so I think those prices for the two cameras is pretty reasonable.
Yep, markets will be hit in the U.S., Canada, Australia, Japan, the U.K., Ireland, pretty much mostly in Europe.
Yeah, there's a lot of countries there, right?
Yep.
But
The
read the
doorbell,
last sentence. Yeah.
the doorbell will only arrive in the U.S. and Canada, presumably for now.
Now look at this. Brian's at a family function, but he still dropped in.
Hey,
and
Brian.
and he still contributed. That's nice. Thank you, Brian. Enjoy your family function. Okay. Continue, sir.
The new Nest doorbell camera isn't the only product arriving for Gemini for your home. Truly surging ahead in the Gemini for Home era is the new Google Home speaker that's reportedly engineered for Gemini. At its core, Gemini is what makes the speaker. As the post states, the product is designed for natural conversations. The new home speaker has been outfitted with custom processing to handle any task you give it with fluidity. Rounding its rounded design is a circular ring light beneath it. Google
What
says
you can
this.
see, what you can see in this picture right here. Go ahead.
Google says this light is there for visual feedback, so you know when Gemini is listening, or reasoning, or responding to your question, or in Gemini Live mode. Consumers will find the new speaker produces 360-degree sound and a long requested feature, the ability to pair two Google Home speakers with the Google TV streamer.
Yep.
Google teases that users can use the two speakers can turn the living room space into a little home theater if they like. Existing features such as grouping multiple Nest speakers for multi-room music enjoyment remain. Users can physically mute the Google Home speaker with the mic toggle on its frame. The Google Home speaker will debut in porcelain, hazel, jade, and berry. However, consumers will not see the product launch with the other Nest cameras previously highlighted. Google states that it wants to roll out Gemini for Home in early access for its device ecosystem before introducing the next big thing. As a result, the Google Home speaker will not launch until spring 2026.
Yeah, so that one we'll have to wait a little while for.
But when it does, you'll find it for $100.
Yep.
All right. And it's coming to Walmart. Google announced its new Gemini for Home era. The company's drawing awareness to an expansion which brings Walmart's On series into the mix. Google states it's partnered with Walmart to bring the new On indoor camera wide and On video doorbell wide devices to consumers October 1st. With that partnership, you'll find 1080p resolutions, Gemini's intelligent event alerts, and more, all through the Google Home app. However, it's worth mentioning you'll need a Google Home for these features.
I didn't even catch that because they're so reasonable priced, as you can see next. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no wonder they're so reasonable. Okay, you there still?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead. The indoor, I guess, we're going to the prices now.
Yeah, the indoor wire starts at $22.96, while the outdoor wire goes for $49.86 at Walmart across the U.S.
Yep. So
good prices.
Right, but you have to be part of that subscription to get that Google Home Premium subscription.
To get the Gemini features, yeah.
Yep. So anyway, so pretty cool stuff. But I thought the cameras were pretty reasonable. So that's good. So I've got one story left. And that is, last week I showed you guys, I think you guys could all see everything. I showed on camera how you could change some of the liquid glass stuff. But I just happened to find this article. It's kind of a follow-up, I guess, to what I showed you last week. iOS 26, you can't turn liquid glass off, but you can tone it down a bit. I found this on Mashable. Yeah, there are people who really hate liquid glass, I gather. iOS 26, how to turn off liquid glass. Short answer, you can't. Long answer, you can change some settings, but you can't fully turn it off. And this was written by Chance Townsend on 5 days ago. So let's drop into review. This is a short one. Okay. Apple's iOS 26 update is a big one, not just because it's new, but because Liquid Glass marks the company's biggest UI overhaul since the iPhone 10. But the so-called biggest iOS update in years hasn't exactly wowed people. Performance hiccups and a jarring reshuffle of the interface have left many users underwhelmed. Yeah, I don't see why seems like some people are very upset. Even here at Masterball, reactions are split. Some enjoy the new look, while others find it pretty meh. If you've upgraded and hate how it looks, here's the bad news. You can't roll back to iOS 18. This makes sense, sure. But what if you like iOS 26 overall and just can't stand Liquid Glass? Also, bad news, you can't turn it off. What you can do, though, is dive into your iPhone's accessibility settings to tone down the transparent, glossy effect and make it less in your face. And you will have gotten most of that, I guess, from what I showed you last week. But it tells you how. How to change Liquid Glass in iOS 26. To cut down the transparency, head to Settings, Accessibility, Display and Text Size, and toggle on Reduce Transparency. This makes elements like folders easier to see when you open them. Yeah, and you would have seen that when I showed you last week. You can also tweak the look of your home screen. Just press and hold an empty space until the icons start to jiggle, and I showed you that last week. Then tap Edit in the top left. From there, select Customize and switch the screen to Tinted. And I showed you all the different ways that it colors last week, too. You'll be able to adjust the colors of icons and folders to better match your style. Simple as that. So like man says, you can't turn it off, but you can make what I guess really is minor changes, but that's about all you can do. I just find it amazing that so many people, at least I keep hearing about so many people really hate it. It doesn't bother me much at all. But of course, if you set it up like I showed you guys last week, well, it kind of doesn't look all that different from what it did before. But so that's it. So why are you using the old? Would you say you were using the iPad?
Yeah, I can't be bothered to set up the camera.
Oh, okay. I assume you just got home before you got on.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you did get on. So, was that your doorbell that rang a little while ago?
No.
Oh, I thought I heard a doorbell ring. Maybe. I guess it could have been upstairs by Eleanor.
Do you have a ring bell?
She uses Arlo. We had Ring for 5 or 6 years. And then the second Ring we got started giving us problems. I can't remember why. But anyway, we found Arlo, and she seems to like Arlo better, and it's certainly a lot more affordable. So she can still see everybody who comes in. She can still talk to whoever, whether she's home or not. So it's nice to have.
Okay.
Yeah, when we did have Ring, I remember we had gone down to Orlando once, and somebody came to the door when we were just coming out of Atlanta, which is still more than 2 hours away. And she got to talk to the person at the door for about 5 minutes, which was pretty cool.
Oh. Yeah, it's like Wi-Fi calling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly like that. Anyway, so I'm glad you got in. So anything new and exciting with your bicycle or cameras or anything?
So I converted my bicycle, the steel one, into a fixed gear.
Okay. So you can't shift gears at all now?
It's not. I can't freewheel anymore on it. The pedals will always keep spinning.
Okay.
All right,
now is that good when you're commuting to work, or is that?
It's interesting.
Well, it sounds like you're sorry you did it or not.
Yeah, I'm kind of a bit. It's interesting. It's something new, I guess.
Yeah, I was going to say, how long ago did you do it?
last week.
Okay. So is it something that you think you'll get used to after a while, or you're going to end up putting it back?
I'm not sure yet. Maybe if I can do some tricks on it.
Okay. Now
I
you have
thought
2 bicycles or one?
I have two. One's a regular bicycle, one's an e-bike.
Okay. Right. I
E-bike
would
is
think
still in the shop. That guy has not gotten the light. And that's actually
really.
one of the things I don't like about it. Like he sucks when it comes to ordering parts. And like he'll put it on the manufacturer, but like after like 3 weeks, I think it's been like 3 weeks, if not almost a month at this point. I
Yeah.
talked to the manufacturer myself today,
Okay.
and they said they'll send out the light. So I'm just like,
Well, see, I was thinking, couldn't you order the part yourself and bring it to him?
yeah, that's what I went out to do today. And yeah, they
Okay.
sent it out. So I'm gonna see how long they take to send it out to me. And mind you, they've always been fast. So
Okay. That's good.
yeah, if I get it, and like that's probably gonna be the last time I go to him for anything.
Okay, that makes sense. So but you have so many, so many people from bicycle clubs. I'm sure you can find others, right?
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
another shop I also go to for
Okay.
repairs. They're just more
So which
expensive.
which bike did you make the freewheeling?
The one that I first bought, the skinny steel gray one,
Okay, the regular bike, not the electric.
not the e-bike.
Okay. Okay. That's right. So you can you use the e-bike now? You can, right? As long as it's daylight, I would assume.
Yeah, as long as it's daylight, I can use it. But
Okay.
I deliberately left it in the store because I suspected that if I was to just take it, I would never see the light. But
Right.
like he would never install the light. But I left it with him, and that light still has not come. So I'm just like,
Hmm.
okay. In other new news, I got a new camera. Haha.
Another one.
Another video camera. Yes.
Okay. Now, so this makes 3 cameras you can use for your business. Yes.
Oh no, this one is more like a toy. It's not for business purposes at all.
Oh, okay. Okay. This is just for your own pleasure, your own fun.
Yeah,
So
it's
what is it?
it's a Camp Snap CS8.
I never heard of Cam Snap. Are they well known or?
They're a new company. They make they make cameras to look like old cameras.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, look them up. You can type it in. Look them up.
What's the name again?
Camp Snap.
Cam Snap. Okay. Yeah, I guess it's like my secondary outdoor bike is a batch bike, and they were new 2 years ago when I bought it, and I like it. It's not as good as my Trek, of course, but as a secondary bike, it's just fine.
Yeah, I got it in. I tried it out yesterday, and it's all right. For
Okay.
150, I'm not gonna complain too hard. I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep it or just sell it off.
Okay. Now, you came home and put the video on your computer, or what'd you do?
Yeah, I came. To put the video on I put on the footage on my computer.
Okay.
The sensors, it's the same size of sensors like phones had in 2015.
Now I get it. That's right. You said, well, they make old. Yeah, that makes sense. So it's
And
very much retro.
yeah, it's also very a low bit rate too.
So what are you filming at, like 1080 or 720 or what?
Let me see. I think it gives me options. It's
Okay.
1080. It's 1080.
Well, that's good. I mean, it could be 720 if you're going back to 2015.
But yeah, it's a low bit rate.
Yeah.
1080. So I can't edit the footage. It'll break apart immediately.
All right.
But
But still something you might enjoy.
yeah, it's like a Super 8 camera if you remember those.
Yes, I remember those.
It's exactly that's how it's shaped. So you have to pull the trigger for it to start shooting, recording.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I remember the Super 8. The Super 8s were very popular for a long time, though.
Yeah, and they're still expensive, like $300.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have thought it would be cheaper than that.
Yeah, no, to get a nice functional one, it's like $300, and then the film and developing it ain't cheap.
Yeah, exactly. Now, might you learn how to, might you develop it yourself, or could you, or?
What? It's a digital camera I got, so I don't need to.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. Don't mind me. You said Super 8, and I just traveled back in time.
You sure did.
I'm surprised it costs so much, though.
I mean, yeah, they're not made anymore. They're very high quality made.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When they're not made anymore, I guess you can kind of charge what people will pay, I guess. So do you get the impression they sell many of these, or are they popular?
No, they just came out. I got the first batch that they sold.
Oh, okay. So
Will it
you're
be
one of the pioneers.
Yeah, I'm one of the first buyers.
Okay.
Will it be popular? I'm not sure. Like I'm like where I am in Dallas. I'm like kind of like the avant-garde person with cameras.
Okay.
One thing that is surprising though is that I do see young people like they have really old pocket cameras like from back in the day, like the Digicams.
Okay.
That's made a comeback, and the kids like it.
Really interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, they're paying like.
Oh, by the way, how's my sound tonight? Is it okay?
Sounds like it usually does.
Okay, because I switched from my Shure mic because last week, Brian Elmer, I had some issues when I had switched from one mic to another, and it was kind of scratchy. I guess it got okay, but I remembered I had my my blue mic, so I'm using that tonight. But if it sounds normal, then I'm good to go, and I'll just keep using that.
Yeah, what earbuds are you using now?
I'm still using the same old Samsung Buds 2 that I've been using, and even though I have 5 or 6 pairs of better earbuds, but these I just leave here on the desk, and I just use these when I'm broadcasting.
Okay.
So, they're good enough for me to sit here and talk, and hear everything. So I don't need anything more. But still my favorite earbuds to go to work with are my Buds Pro 2, which is the ones that came out right after these, and my Apple earbuds. But these are good enough for here, so I'm very happy. And I'm just glad my sound is okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Anyway, I'm glad you came in. I hope you enjoyed the new camera. So, do you have much time to fool around with this stuff just for yourself?
Yeah, I gotta make times.
Okay.
We have the State Fair of Texas. I just started, and I haven't been going as much as I'd hoped. But yeah, I'll have some time to try it out at the State Fair next week.
Okay, is it still going on, the fair?
Yeah, it's going on for 2 more weeks.
Oh, okay. So you can go out and get some decent footage on that, and you can get some serious footage for your business too, I would assume.
Yeah. What's his name? Brian McKnight is actually performing tonight. Yeah.
Okay, good. So you going?
Nah.
Okay.
I'm here, aren't I?
Okay, just one, because it's only 8? It's only a little after 8 there, right?
Yeah. Besides, I only know the ones. I like the one song from him.
I'm not even sure if I heard it, but me, I'm old.
If ever I believe my work is done, then I start back at 1.
I think I may have heard it once or twice, but not much. But keep in mind, the only time I really hear music is when I'm at work and I'm riding around in the van, when they're taking us to pick up cars or deliver cars. And the other people I work with are all old, so they play nothing but 70s, 80s music. So, I mean, pretty much all I hear is stuff I sang in bands 30, 40, 50 years ago.
That sounds like a time capsule you're working in.
Exactly. One of the big things that separates me from most of my coworkers, although last week she did hire a guy and a girl in their 40s, but all the rest are in their 60s, 70s, even 80s. I don't think much like an old person, and they do. And I find you know, I often think like young people, and they don't know what that's like. Like, for instance, typically young people almost never watch television. They watch everything on their phones or their computers. Now,
Yeah.
I have a television. You know how many times I turned my television on last year?
Two.
Twice, all year long. I'm like young people. I watch everything on my computer or my phone.
So you definitely wouldn't, want that Amazon feature where you walk in and it turns it on for you.
Exactly. Yeah, I hardly ever use it. So, but even when I'm watching my Formula One racing, I watch that on the computer. It's just my habit. Again, young people don't watch CNN. They don't watch Fox News. Neither do I. I get all my news from YouTube and X. So I obviously think very differently from the people that I work with, and they watch nothing but Fox News and CNN. And I'm like, why? They lie about everything. You can't believe anything you hear on them. So that's why I don't watch them. And it doesn't seem to matter whether they're left or right. They tend to lie about stuff. So I think this is why young people stop watching him, and it's certainly why I stopped watching.
What's
So
that?
all in all, I just don't think like old people think, even though I'm old. And my guess is it's going to be many, many years before I do, but they'll probably all be long dead before I do. So.
You got
What's interesting is there's a guy who's been working here at Enterprise since before I started there, and I've been there 9.5 years. And he's the sweetest guy. When I first started 9 years ago, he used to work with us and drive around picking up cars and delivering to branches like we do. But then he started working at the airport, just driving the cars from the airport back to our place where they wash them and clean up and then take them back to the airport. But he liked that so much, and of course he's a retired businessman too, and he did that for like the last 8 years or so. So last Friday he was at work, and he's the kind of guy everybody liked him. He's the sweetest man. And then come to find out, Monday night he just went home and died, and nobody knows why.
Because he died because he's old.
He was about the same age I am. Yeah, and I know I'm probably in the shape of somebody in the late 40s or early 50s who's in shape.
Yeah.
But it's just surprising to have a guy be there one day and the next work day he dies.
That is true. Yeah.
It was just surprising. And the thing is, he was the kind of guy all of us really loved the guy because he was that much of a sweetheart. Anyway, I'm sure my subscribers don't want to hear all of this stuff.
It's
all right, folks.
Though, but yeah, have a good night, guys.
Yeah, we're going to sign off and continue on with our personal stuff. Anyway, at least we're all caught up with Ted, and we got him here, and always glad to have him. You didn't get to see the handsome face tonight, but hopefully next time. All right, folks, we're going to see you guys next week, and I hope everybody has a blessed weekend and a blessed next week. And let's remember, we all do better when we love each other. What's the song? I should say, come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Good night, folks.